People used to turn to priests, rabbis, and imams for answers about life, love, and loss. Now, some are opening a chat window and typing those same questions into AI. Are you there, ChatGPT? It's me. That is not a sci-fi joke anymore. It is a genuine shift in how people are reaching for the divine in a digital age. Since OpenAI launched ChatGPT in late 2022, we've seen a full-blown explosion of AI tools built for spiritual exploration. Apostle Paul AI, Ask Buddha, Bible.AI, BuddhaBot, ChatGPT, Episcobot, GitaGPT, My Quran, and Quran GPT. There's even Rebbe.io, which pulls from Torah, Halacha, and Jewish tradition. Others take a more cosplay approach. Character. AI hosts deities from Greek myths, Hollywood universes, and gaming worlds. It's as if theology just met the App Store. The phenomenon actually started with a question. In 2023, tech entrepreneur Yossi Tsuria asked a chatbot to write a prayer. If a man named Joe wanted to pray for his son's health, how should he pray? The AI instantly responded, "Heavenly Father, in this trying time, I come before you with a heavy heart." When Surya clarified that Joe was an Orthodox Jew, not a Catholic, the AI seamlessly switched tone, opening with, "Dear God, in this challenging time, I turn to you with a heavy heart. My beloved Perry, my young one, is facing battle." The machine didn't just mimic grammar. It captured religious cadence. That moment hinted at what was coming. People turning to chatbots for therapy, for companionship, and increasingly for spiritual direction. A Catholic church in Switzerland even installed an AI Jesus hologram inside a confessional. In Helsinki, worshippers attended a service led entirely by an AI preacher, and faith leaders across Europe and the US have delivered sermons written by large language models. Some believers find that thrilling, a way to access reflection at any hour, free from dogma. Others see danger in turning sacred experience into software. AI can deliver empathy in tone, but not in truth. Philosophers like Alba Curry at the University of Leeds point out that to feel anger, sorrow, or love requires belief, a sense that something matters. A language model doesn't believe, it predicts. It generates sentences by calculating the most likely next word based on training data drawn from billions of lines of text. So when an AI comforts you, it's not understanding pain, it's echoing how comfort usually sounds. That raises big questions. Can a system built without consciousness give meaningful guidance on morality or faith? David Brenner from the group AI and Faith says he's excited about the possibilities, but warns that humans have to bring their own understanding to every interaction. He says the questions driving both theologians and AI engineers are surprisingly similar. What is the meaning of life? How do we preserve truth and justice? Where does agency come from? Used wisely, large language models can deepen reflection. Train one on the Torah, and it can instantly cross-reference every passage on forgiveness. Ask it about Buddhist concepts of suffering, and it can summarize centuries of commentary. But the insight you get isn't divine inspiration, it's computational synthesis. Researchers like Flor Plaza at Leiden University have tested how fair those models really are. Western religions, especially Christianity, get nuanced representation, but Eastern faiths, Hinduism, Buddhism, are often reduced to cliches. Judaism and Islam are sometimes even stigmatized. It turns out AI's spiritual vocabulary depends on who's doing the training. And right now, that's mostly Silicon Valley. Young, male, English-speaking developers whose worldview shapes how AI describes God. Elias Kruger, a data scientist with a theology degree, says that's a serious imbalance. If faith and ethics are part of AI's future, then engineers of many backgrounds and beliefs need a seat at the table. Otherwise, machines that sound omniscient could quietly reinforce a very narrow idea of the divine. There's another problem: emotional vulnerability. Marcus Schwarting, an AI researcher and trained Christian caregiver, says he has seen what real presence feels like in pastoral care, and chatbots just can't match it. If someone's talking to an AI, they're doing 90% of the work, he says. There's nothing metaphysical happening with the model, but there could be something metaphysical happening to you. That human side of the equation is what keeps people grounded. Yet, more and more users are logging in late at night, asking chatbots questions once reserved for clergy. Who am I? Why do bad things happen? How do I find meaning? In an era when millions are leaving organized religion, burned out on dogma, politics, and scandal, digital prayer feels safer. It's private, immediate, and judgment-free. Pastor Bruce Reyes Chow from San Jose says it's inevitable people will experiment with AI spirituality. His concern isn't the curiosity itself, but the data behind it. What information is being scraped to train those responses? He worries that Christianity's loudest online voices, often nationalist and conservative, could dominate how algorithms describe faith. That could distort entire traditions for future generations of seekers who don't know to ask for nuance. And this shift is already shaping young minds. Studies show about 70% of teens use at least one kind of AI tool. Some rely on them for emotional support, especially LGBTQ+ youth who feel isolated. Supporters argue that chatbots offer a judgment-free companion. Critics counter that isolation itself is the issue. You can define belonging in a feedback loop. Buddhist meditation teacher Oren J. Sofer says that's the paradox. AI can summarize the King James Bible or the Pali Canon in seconds, but real growth requires community. Meditation or prayer in solitude can deepen awareness, but without relationships, it risks becoming self-absorption disguised as enlightenment. Our capacity for delusion is staggering, he says. Without belonging, meditation can increase our sense of isolation. In other words, AI can guide your thoughts, but it won't challenge your ego. It won't call out your blind spots or inspire service, both essential to most faiths. Yet there's a subtle upside. Some thinkers, like the Reverend David Kim of Goldenwood, see what he calls hopeful intelligence, the idea that imagination has always been part of spiritual life. He believes AI, used creatively, could help people articulate hope. It can spark questions that lead back to human connection. Still, perspective matters. AI delivers words, not wisdom. It's designed to always have an answer, even when that answer isn't true. Meredith Gardner, who works with Mormon Women for Ethical Government, warns against treating AI as omniscient. It's made to reply, not to discern. That's where faith leaders and ethicists say the next evolution must happen. If AI starts resembling divine attributes, omniscience, omnipresence, endless patience, people might start worshiping the reflection instead of the source. Brenner calls that a form of digital idolatry, mistaking statistical prediction for spiritual truth. But maybe that's the mirror we need. Kruger points out that humans are redefining what it means to create. For centuries, we built machines to serve us. Now we build systems that talk back. Ethics, he says, isn't just about how we treat each other. It is about our relationship to everything we make. So where does this leave us? In a world where an AI can quote the Quran, recite the Sermon on the Mount, or generate a prayer in any faith's dialect, maybe the real story isn't about whether machines can find God. It's about whether humans can still recognize what makes meaning real: presence, compassion, and community. A chatbot can sound wise. It can speak in sacred rhythm, but it can't love, forgive, or believe. And yet, the fact that we keep asking it to, that might be the most human thing of all.